Good evening, everyone. I'm Nestor Sunga the 7th, and today I'll be conducting my review about the book The Time Machine, authored by H.G. Wells. To further introduce who exactly is H.G. Wells, I will read from the book's autobiography about him. H.G. Wells was a scientific visionary and social prophet. He was one of the most widely read about British writers of his generation. He explored the new territory of science fiction and crusaded for a new social order in more than 44 novels, social, and historical books. To get on with the summarization of my book, the book started with a time traveler explaining to his guests at a dinner party that time is actually a fourth dimension. And he even proves this by showing a miniature working time machine. Then a few weeks later, he went back to another dinner party looking exhausted and injured. And that's when he starts telling everyone about the unimaginable, unbelievable story that he had went. He explains how he traveled to the year 2701, where he met two kinds of people, the Eloi and the Murlocs. The Murlocs were cannibals who fed on the Elois. And besides that, the time traveler's machine went missing because the Murlocs hid it inside a statue called the Great Sphinx. And when he had retrieved it, before coming home, he went to the distant future, where the earth was lost and empty. And after seeing the end of lifetime, he went back to the present and finished his story. And after that, he used his machine again. And after he used his machine, he was never seen again. The quote from this story that I would like to share is on page 96. We are kept keen on the grindstone of pain and necessity, which reflects this book's theme, which is all about struggle and survival. Now, let's talk about the book's qualities. For me, what really stood out in The Time Machine was how H.G. Wells mixes imagination with science. Even though the book is more than a century old, the ideas of the book still feels modern. The concept of time as a fourth dimension feels so surprisingly logical. I also like how the story slowly changes from peaceful and curious to dark and terrifying once the Murlocs appear. I also enjoy the writing style of Wells, using simple language, but every description makes the year 2701 feels real. To be honest, the story felt boring at first, but as it goes on, the pacing kept me hooked, especially when the time traveler loses the time machine and turns into a fight for survival. And even though it's a short novel, it left a big emotional impact on me. And I will rate this book an 8 out of 10. Because of the cover. Because I was bored of how the cover looks like and how the chapter 1 is boring. Because it's full of how time is a fourth dimension. And to end my book review, I would recommend this book for anyone who has ever dreamt of time traveling or is fond of the concept of it. And that is all for my book review.